Hey, what's up, guys? Mark and Bob, the X-Men Hildebrand here. Sounds good. Let me know anything going wrong. Please comment quickly so I can just bounce out of here. 0.
Yeah, I think they're counting down. Yeah.
Sounds good. Sound good. Someone comment.
Space Marine 658, great title. And also, if you want to know any good Milsim teams around the Dallas area, I highly suggest heading over to GI Tactical in Texas because we do have a lot of folks that frequent that store from teams or who are looking for teams. Also, D14 Airsoft is a great way to get to know your community. That's in Sanger, Texas. All right, well, it looks like everything is going all right as far as sound, I believe. So, what's up, Josh? All right, so let me go over currently available promos because there's a lot of cool stuff going on our website right now. We've actually got a lot of products on airsoftgi.com pre-discounted, some up to 80%. Now, we want to make it easier for you guys so you didn't have to, keep putting in random coupon codes or coupon codes for this, codes for that. So a lot of stuff, hundreds of, if not thousands of products on our website are discounted up to 80% off. And we have got a lot, well, at least 1 to 2 very interesting guests today, one of whom is actually just to the left of the camera. Why don't you step on in?
Interesting? An interesting guest?
Well, it's interesting that you're here because we didn't expect it. And it's Tim from Chris, USA. Woo! There's no studio audience.
Frank expected it.
Yeah, well, Frank didn't inform the rest of us, so. Yeah, perfunctory handshake. Good to see you again.
Perfunctory.
I don't know, it sounds fancy. I went to college.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, let me just go over a few other currently available promos. Our Boneyard just got restocked. Our fan film contest for BB Wars is ending on July 27th. So get those films sent in to us at submit@airsoftgi.com. We also have our Elite Force Appreciation Weekend coming up on August 1st and August 2nd in Texas. We're going to have a sale the day before our Elite Force Appreciation game at D14 Airsoft on August 2nd. So head on over to the sale, meet the folks that are going to be out there, and check out a bunch of cool new Elite Force products, and head on over to that game. We also have the PTS Masada in stock. We're doing international shipping, so if you want to buy stuff, quality US-made products or other products from airsoftgi.com from all over the world, use that global checkout button. And in addition to that, the LMG Enhanced from Krytac is on pre-order.
Yes, it is.
In fact, Tim, would you be a lamb and grab that?
I will be a lamb.
Thank you, buddy. All right, so if you guys haven't seen this before, I mean, when I first saw this, I originally likened it to a gun I would like to see in Starship Troopers, the 4th movie. However, you designed this awesome, or at least Krytac designed this awesome front foreguard or front handguard, similar to the Sphinx pistol slide, correct?
Well, yeah. So the contour of the handguard, it looks very similar. It was inspired by the Sphinx STP Compact, actually just the STP line.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you'll see a lot of similarities between the look of this and the look of our firearms.
I mean, it's certainly very aggressive looking, and I think one of the things that you told me that I thought was a really good design move was the fact that, when you put a rail in this, it's actually flush with this rail back here, correct? So it's all in line.
Yeah, that was one of the well, actually, the first LMG didn't even have a rail at all.
Correct.
But you've got your rail segment right here for the gas block, and then your rail segment up here. It was kind of limited. So when we added the key mod option to this, the accessory option, we definitely wanted to make sure that your top rail plane was the same. If you so choose, you can put an optic right there.
Mm-hmm. Definitely a very, I mean, it's a very aggressive looking gun, and definitely, I like the short barrel, especially. I mean, if I was going to take any gun up to Game Pod and want to wreck house, this would probably be the gun. So,
Jurassic World live show.
Yeah, well, actually, it's good to note that originally we had Greg Wong, aka Spartan117GW, instead of Craig this time, scheduled to come in. We actually shot a Jurassic World loadout with him because I don't know if you've seen.
I saw his video.
Yeah. Well, his videos, Instagram, and all the other stuff he's been pushing out about it. Actually, I really wanted to be in the video just to put in my 2 cents of like, Greg, it's great you're dressing up like this after a team that got massacred within 5 minutes of going out of the field. But it looks great. Looks great. Did you see Jurassic World?
I didn't see the movie. No.
Okay, well then just put to the side.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler. Yeah, but it was a really cool movie.
Virgil Ortega's question real quick.
Nope.
Yes, there will be an AEG version of the Vecto.
Vector, I think he means.
The Vecto. That's what he said.
Do you have an ETA on that, or just the fact that you guys are probably coming out with it?
It's definitely happening. We announced it at EWA this year. I don't have any other information for you guys right now.
You and your confidentiality. Well, that's
but
really
it's
cool.
coming. It's coming.
That will be awesome. We'll have blowback.
An AEG with blowback?
Yeah, some do.
No, Bob. The point of the Vector is to reduce recoil.
Well,
Why would we add it into the Airsoft?
I know. I mean, there were some previous versions that were gas blowback, which is funny because the system is meant to mitigate recoil. But I don't know. I mean, I was curious. I still haven't had a chance to fire the 9mm version of the Chris Vector.
Very few have.
Very few have, but I saw Richard Ryan's video on Full Mag, and it is ridiculous. That gun, like, you literally just hold it, mag's done, doesn't move. Like, it's ridiculous.
Richard was actually the first person outside of the company to fire that gun, so he got very lucky. He was in the right place at the right time.
Well, I think I remember at SHOT Show at the Range Day or Media Day or something, you had it there, and you're like, you guys can't fire it. We're waiting for someone. So, and we're like, oh, well, who is this someone? You're like, I can't say. So it was really comically conspicuous. So.
Yeah.
But this is really cool. I'm really excited for this to come out. I've never actually personally run with a saw, so hopefully one of my friends will get this and I'll be able to just borrow it for a day because this looks legit. So awesome. And it does come with a box mag, I believe.
Yep, 3,500 round box mag comes with it, so just get the gun, get some BBs and a battery, and you're good to go.
Legit. All right, now we've got another one of our special guests here in the audience today. He's just setting up some stuff, and he'll be on here lickety-split. But yeah, this is a happy surprise. We got Greg Wong, we got Tim Sargent. I don't know why I put that in quotation marks, but it felt right.
Screwed him over.
All right, well, thanks for joining us, Greg. And if you can tell, he's actually in his, was it animal control unit?
It's actually asset containment.
Asset containment unit. I was way off, and I saw the movie.
Well, originally
I didn't see the movie. Why don't you see it?
Okay. Well, originally, I think
Oh, Tim.
they had planned for it to be animal control unit, and then eventually they were like, "Nah, asset sounds better." You know, because even the name of the main dinosaur changed a few times as well.
No, I don't mean push the chair in. I mean sit down in the frame. Good Lord. So the name change of the dinosaur is what you're saying?
Yeah, like if at one point it was like the Diabolus Rex, and then it became the Indominus Rex, which stands for Untamable King.
Are you just putting them in front of the face? So Indominus Rex, and then it changed to what?
It was Diablos, and then it became Indominus Rex. So there was like a whole process. Like we actually got to go to Stan Winston's studio because Legacy helped with a lot of the maquettes and the basic design of the dinosaur. So we got to see like the process, meet a lot of the guys that were involved with the design, and the guys who did the Apatosaurus, which is the only animatronic in that movie. And it was cool because at Comic-Con, I actually got to see it like up close, and it's like moving and blinking its eyes. It looks really, really legit.
That'd be pretty cool. I mean, we were actually talking earlier. Tim, have you ever seen these videos of people dressed up in, I think they're Velociraptor costumes?
Oh, yeah.
Stalking people like in office buildings? And they look real.
They scared Chris Pratt with one of those.
Office?
Well,
it's a prank.
Yeah, it's a prank, but like these people wear these suits and the tails move like you would expect them to, and it looks so legit. Like people look like they're having heart attacks. They even Chris Pratt, who's in the film, they got him with him, and he almost lost his crap. Like he thought they were real. He's like, didn't he like grab something to hit him with? And then
he pushed up against the door or something like that. But I just thought it was funny because like you were in the movie, man. But it was all green screen dinosaurs or all CG dinosaurs, anyways.
Now, I want to make a note that I actually spoiled the movie for Tim here a second ago. I told him how you dressed up as a unit. They got killed within 5 minutes of being out in the field. And is there anything else you'd like to spoil for Tim since he hasn't seen the movie?
I mean, I kind of want to keep the surprise.
No.
There is a line in the movie that's actually a reference to a movie car club that I'm part of. So, Jurassic Park Motorpool. So, you're going to hear it because it's one line. The kid says it. It like doesn't really reference anything else but that one thing. And when you hear it, it's like no one else in the audience would get it unless you're part of like that movie car club. So, and it's actually part of your automotive kind of, you know, the things that you're interested in.
Not
now,
even remote. I mean,
it's in the ballpark now.
And a steering
it's
wheel.
in that
that's
ballpark
as close as it gets. Right?
In that same ballpark, Greg actually told me a term about the Jurassic World Jeeps that you probably may find interesting, maybe not, but it's when you have like a Jeep or a car or something else you dress up like something in the movie, it's not cosplay, it's cars play.
So whether you have an Ecto one or whether you have like a DeLorean or a Jeep or, you know, something else, that's basically what it is.
I would get an Ecto one in a hot second. Yeah.
What's that?
It's Ghostbusters.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what they had in
Who are you going to call?
Ghostbusters. I don't know. I'm not as excited about the new movie because like they've made the entire cast out of women, which normally I wouldn't disagree with, but it just seemed like they did it as a novelty.
I think if
well, no, I mean like
people will take that segment.
Well, here's the thing: is like all of the actresses are really good and
good comedic actors.
Yeah, good comedic and exceptional at their job. It feels like, you know,
they threw it together just to do it as opposed to.
It just seemed like a really like thrown together idea. I don't know. I'm gonna go see it regardless
think it's
because I
gonna
love
be
it.
interesting.
That Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's hilarious.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my god, she's so good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't wait for her performance specifically. So
If they can capture like how everyone's kind of like an oddball, but they're working together as a team,
Mhm.
kind of like the first one, everyone's very different. They bring
The
something
chemistry.
different. Yeah, the
Yeah.
chemistry. The new uniforms they look cool. It's definitely got a flair of fighter in it more than it used to. The new Ecto 1 vehicle I wasn't too much of a fan of because like it was really boxy, and the old Ecto 1 was like had a lot of curves. And I'm not gonna lie though, that thing is like Flip City. Like you can't drive fast in that thing because it's yeah. A lot of the guys in the movie car clubs, like Star Car Central, they say like you got to be careful when you drive that because it's so top heavy.
well, if there's one thing I know, and Tim can attest to this, I know about driving fast. So no, I don't.
Must go fast, man.
I know I'm a slow grandma driver. So, but yeah, I mean, Tim, you're really into cars in a different aspect. I mean, you're not a really big fan of BMWs by any regard. No, not at all.
Shut up.
Now, recently you started. You were a BMW. Not teacher, but what do you call it? Instructor. But it's like a regional instructor or something like that.
It's just with the CCA, the Car Club of America, for the LA and San Diego chapters.
Have you been going out like pretty regularly for that?
No, not really.
That's a spirit. Okay.
I want to, but I just haven't had the time.
No, that's fair. I'm sure you're really busy. Have you had a chance to play Airsoft in the last, I don't know, a little while?
No.
Doing all the real gun stuff.
I've been shooting a lot.
Yeah, no, it's funny. We actually were discussing this a little bit earlier. Tim, you've been going on shooting pistol matches, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was remarking, I had some friends tell me that you were, really good at pistol shooting, but apparently what you were telling me is that you're really good at looking good pistol shooting. Now, whether you hit the targets...
I mean, I can hit them, but the way that they do the USPSA things, you get, for hitting center mass, you get like a point.
A different score.
Yeah,
different
and
zones,
so you don't really record the part where you record all the zones. So it looks awesome on camera, and then you just kind of cut it. You cut it before they
You
count the
don't see
score.
where So
That's
basically,
awesome.
hit, and then they go
Yeah.
count where the hits are. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, you hit. It's on paper.
I
It's
mean,
not
my
on
first time that I went out, I wasn't last, so I considered that a win.
I would agree. I mean, definitely.
But I was not anywhere near the top because those guys are fast.
I saw a video from the R15 guys where they were like, it was one of the guys shooting, and it sounded like he was hitting targets, and the camera
Oh,
pans
yeah.
back.
yeah, it's like
Ting.
Yeah,
somebody
it's
hit-
ting,
Ting.
and they stop shooting, and you still keep hearing the ting. It's like,
Mhm.
what's up, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's probably how I
Is
would
that
do it.
really a thing? I wonder if that's actually like a thing people do.
Well, if I was trying to look good,
Just
that's
for
what
a
I do.
parody video.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what you can do. I mean, that's all those guys do anyway.
Yeah, they're pretty funny gents. All right, Morgan McComb, your shout out is approved.
Bam.
He's also requesting it from both of you guys.
Haha. Morgan McComb.
Tim,
I will not.
I'll be a lamb. Come on, come on.
Oh wow, the Aries gear belt is like really shiny on there.
Yes.
Like the belt's like super reflective.
Actually, speaking of your belt, although not at all related, why don't you tell about how you changed this camo to conform with
Oh.
the actual uniform of?
So this actually kind of looks like Neptune, which is one of their sort of unreleased camo patterns. But what it actually is I use the same or similar techniques they used for the movie. They started off with Mandrake because Typhon, although it's a really good commercial off-the-shelf, looks good enough. It's not blue enough. So what they did was they took Mandrake and they really, really dyed it blue. I'm still working on the dye 'cause it's got a little bit of a purple hue, so I gotta dye it darker and I gotta get it bluer. But that's how they got this camo. So it was started out as a Mandrake combat top, and I just grit dye. I used like royal blue, navy blue, and evening blue, and just it has all these nice little hues to it. But that's more or less what the idea of what they did for the movie to kind of give that kind of like thin blue line of Jurassic World, even though they all got owned.
Yeah.
Dominus
Well,
Rex.
when I'm looking at this closer, it is really interesting because you do shift hues pretty like
Yeah.
randomly. Like you have kind of purplish, a little bit of blue, then it goes a little bit into the green.
I mean that's why I like Krytac too, is because it has like a pattern, but then there's you have like a micro pattern and the big splotches of pattern, so it's has much more natural kind of feel to it, and it's unique in the camo world. So yeah.
Want to do a quick shout out to Juha Backman. Please forgive me if I mispronounced your name. Watching from Finland at 2:40 a.m. Very impressed, and thank you for watching our live show. Also, Tim, we had a request. Someone would like you to talk about your BMW, which I would disagree with, but as a request.
How am I going to talk about it by myself? You guys don't know anything about cars.
Mark! No,
I know it's stuff about Jeeps.
well, I mean, maybe you could tell, one thing I noticed, I was actually outside looking for you, which I had just barely missed you. It's like, where's Tim's BMW? Oh, it's the one with the Sparko seats?
Mhm.
Yeah, but that's all I know.
Good job, Bob.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And those are specialty racing seats?
Yes, Bob.
Yes, 2 for
For
2.
going fast.
Yeah, going
For
fast.
Must go fast.
I remember one time I was driving up to NorCal with you, and I'd fallen asleep, which was my mistake. And we're on the 5, I think, or the 101, I can't remember. And you swerved, and I literally like fell out of the chair or fell to the side and woke up like falling down to the center divider, and woke up to you getting back to the lane. And I almost peed in your car.
That's bad, Bob.
Well, I didn't. I did have a cup right there, though. Could have. Yeah.
Was that on the 46?
No, that was not on the 46, because I remember we were going north at the time.
That sounds like the 5.
Well,
There's no reason you go in the 101 unless you're going like San Francisco.
well, no, you take the 5 north to the 46 west to the 101 north to get to Monterey.
Okay. Oh, so you
yeah.
guys are going to the quarter or something like that.
Yeah. I have family living up there, but yeah, no, the 46 I would definitely not be swerving on because that is blood alley.
Straight.
Yeah, they actually added lanes to that, which is nice.
I
But
know.
I don't know. I mean, isn't there something you can tell to someone who's interested in BMWs? Like,
ask him more specifically what he wants to know.
well, there's a delay, Tim.
Well, we'll wait, and then you guys can talk more about blue camo, and then I'll figure out what he was interested in knowing.
Well, actually, I want to hear, Greg, you went out to BB Wars Ops Scorched Earth
Oh
in
yeah,
Texas.
Scorched Earth. That was a lot of fun. So
I'm kind of curious to hear your experiences. I saw a couple photos of you with your ERG out there holding the Rebel flag, which is dope.
oh yeah. Like so it was great. The guys in Texas were really great staff. I mean I've lived in the South before, and it was of course came back to California, but it's kind of nice to go back to an environment where everyone's very friendly and everyone's very they'll definitely go the extra mile to make sure you're taken care of and stuff like that. So the guys
trying to say, man, are we not friendly?
Well, look, I mean,
this is Southern California.
I'll be honest, and
Texas.
maybe you guys can confirm this, but like when I would leave California for games, it does seem to me that like outside of California, people are a lot more polite.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
I've never been to New York,
It's the
and I
customs
hear-
and courtesies.
and
Yeah.
that might be it.
But the guys at GI Tactical Texas really went the extra mile. It was really great hanging out with them, and of course the game was awesome. D14 is cool because I know you guys said it before, but it's an ever evolving field.
Mhm.
It's I mean the original, of course, the launch of the GI Texas store, the first event down there really kind of helped put them on the map, and now they're just growing and shifting. And it's got a lot of different elements to that field. You got the hill with like the trenches, you got the deep fighting in the woods and like the creek and stuff like that, and then you have the town and the city, and then of course the other areas mixed in there, and then you have the mosque. So it's very diversified, so you're going to get a lot of different flavors of gameplay. I mean, it's still pretty much all outdoors in the woods for the most part, but you do have quite a few things to choose from about where you want to fight, how you want to approach, and it was very flexible. The rebels, of course, took the victory there, took the win. So I can't remember how you guys fared up north, but I know we definitely stopped the Imperials.
It was crazy. I mean, that whole triple threat weekend all went to the Rebels, and I mean, I hadn't planned it that way because I'd made sure each local ground. Oh, Tim, stop it! Here's the thing:
I
is
leave
like,
for 1 year and the whole empire falls apart.
An empire cannot be an empire without its emperor.
well,
Right?
here's the thing:
like
is like,
Star Wars.
you know, Tim, like when you were running the Empire side, like I would play dirty tricks on you, which would generally not go well for me. Like, remember when I tried to give you the map and I was like, please take it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's all incorrect and it's got wrong marking.
Yeah. I
Bad
had
intel.
some Photoshop, and Tim could pretty much
Could
tell
tell?
that I had done that.
It's
Well,
like,
I
this
didn't even
doesn't look-
use the map. I didn't even need it.
And then I was like,
He's just like,
you sure you
okay,
don't
don't worry
want it? But put spies on your team, you put spies on my team. So, I mean, we used to play like dirty tricks in jest on each other, but I've been trying to make these games as legitimately fair as possible. And I had all the local commanders, like, both of them take a look at it if you switched
No
it.
problem cheating against me.
I had an idea.
Well, Tim, like, I'm not really competitive, but I mean, you know, you bring out my bad side. I'm just saying. What were we saying, Greg?
I had an idea for the Imperial side, First Order, because like what happens after the Emperor, like there's a new First Order of stormtroopers.
Quite.
So.
Well, perhaps when we see the new movie coming out in December, we might adjust things to at least like accommodate a parody side of what's going on in the Star Wars universe. Because I don't know, Tim, have you seen the recently released like trailer from E3 about Star Wars?
I saw like a behind the scenes thing.
Yeah, I think it was that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw like the last half of it.
Oh man. Well, the first half is also just as awesome.
For the game or for the movie?
For the movie.
For the movie.
Yeah.
Both
I
are
saw
awesome.
the trailer. There was a Batman vs Superman
Oh
trailer.
yeah,
that was pretty
Batman vs
awesome.
Superman trailer, Suicide
The
Squad.
Suicide Squad one was another one I saw.
Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad. I definitely give them props. It's,
I don't know anything about those characters, but it looks like a cool movie.
I think it's gonna be good. It's kind of interesting seeing Will Smith. It's like all the big actors are starting to gravitate toward these comic book movies. So it's like they're trying to shove as many A-list actors in there as possible now.
I'm down like a clown.
But Suicide Squad's gonna be cool, and I think there's definitely a trend. If you look at all the Hollywood movies now, is the gear is starting to look more and more accurate, or more and more up to date. Like ever since about like 2008 or 9 or so, or something like that. Like you can see it. Like it was Tact Pro Shop in Burbank. They do all the propping for all the Marvel movies. So that's why like the guys in OpScore and like Cry Gear and everything, and then I think they did for Superman, Man of Steel, or the new one that came out too. So like, it's kind of interesting to see how the gear in these movies is really starting to be more in line with what's contemporary, what is now, as opposed to like that guy's wearing an army uniform that's like still Woodland BDUs from like 2002 or 3, but now it's
Woodland's cool.
I mean, Woodland's so cool. But it's cool to see them stay up to date.
I think, I mean, when Woodland started coming back into fashion, I think, I correct me if I'm wrong, but I think partially because of Marsoc was using it a lot. I thought it was really interesting because, I mean, I used to run Woodland back in the day, I'm sure, like a lot of us, and to have it, like, come back in Airsoft fashion was kind of neat.
But remastered.
There's a legitimate car-related question that I have for you, Tim.
Okay.
The person who asked it, the name went up there. But, Tim, you have a BMW, but what are your thoughts on driving an ACR Viper?
No.
What's an who's ACR?
I don't know. I'm sure it's just a tuned Dodge Viper of some sort.
Yeah. Don't the Vipers look cool, though?
Yeah, they look cool. I don't know how to ever own one. Of course, I'll drive one if someone wants to give them to me. But
what about a Porsche?
You don't really hand over like 600 horsepower plus cars to just anybody.
What about Porsche?
I'd consider owning one of those.
I know you've had a good friend of yours try and talk you into a Porsche driving club quite a bit, right?
No, I'm a member of the POC, also the Porsche Owners Club.
POC,
They let me in even though I don't have a Porsche, so
cool.
they're nice guys.
They signed a waiver?
Yeah. It's like, oh, this guy doesn't have a Porsche, but he's cool.
Well, that's...
But yeah, the Porsches, they're cool cars, I guess.
Oh, it says Tim looks bored. No, that's just his regular face. Don't worry about that. Say my name. Chris Flynn.
Oh, Bob, you're supposed to say my name.
My name.
My name.
Oh, this is a good question that I think you are most prepared to answer. How often do you use ghillie suits, Greg?
Never.
You know,
of course, never.
It kind of situation dictates. Like, I mean, it gets hot here in SoCal. I mean, I like to wear it where it's not too hot. I mean, and you really have to tailor it to the environment. I used it a lot in the East Coast. I used it a lot in Japan. It really breaks up your silhouette. Guys will walk by you and then you just shoot them all in the back. And it's one of those things where you have to play with it in a way that, like, you really got to find the right situation and the right role to use it in. But definitely for more of the East Coast thing, you can use a ghillie suit anywhere if it's built properly. But it's hot in SoCal, so it's definitely a lot more of a stressful thing for it. So.
Yeah, you definitely want to watch how hydrated you're getting and how hot it is. You do not want to get heat exhaustion while in a ghillie suit pretty far out there because that can be a little dangerous.
Well, it's a lot of fun. Like it's all part of that getting that one moment where you're still and they don't see you. That is the key enjoyment of the ghillie suit.
That is when your heart gets pumping. Yeah.
Ninja in the woods.
I mean, it is like an adult/child version of like extreme hide and go seek. Yeah. So.
But you don't see me.
Yeah. God, I saw a photo or a meme, like, it was like a bunch of years ago, but it was like Osama bin Laden, hide and seek champion, 20-something or other. Yeah.
And it eventually had to end.
Oh, yes. Thank God. Thank God. Yeah. I don't know what that means. All right. Well, out of curiosity, Tim, do you have a favorite product from the Krytac line?
A favorite one?
I mean, one that you would be most inclined to use. Like, for me, I like the Krytac SPR because I like full-length guns, and I mean it complements my playstyle more because I like being able to get those extra long-range shots. And I don't have as much experience behind an LMG, but I would love to have the LMG enhanced. But if I had to pick one, it'd be the SPR.
I think I'm more inclined to shorter guns. I've always been that way, playing CQB.
CQB guns.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Bob, when we first met, we were playing over at Airsoft Playground, which is now Tax City, and that's just straight up CQB. And it was actually several years into my Airsoft career before I started playing outdoors and playing more Milsim stuff. So I kind of gravitate more towards the CRB. I like the LMG a lot more now that it's shorter.
Yeah.
But you can't pick, like, it's like picking your favorite child.
Some people do.
But I cannot. They don't want to admit it, but they do.
Are you pointing at your parents?
No. I'm adopted, so yeah.
Well played,
but,
sir. Well played.
In case you didn't know. But I think, like, of the Krytac line, I think the CRB gives you really balance of flexibility and movement. Like, if you're running around game pod and stuff, just running through those doorways, coming around a corner, and really just, and the range on that is still plenty. You still get plenty of range. So
and I really like how I've tuned my CRB. I think it looks very attractive.
Were you able to find all the pieces of candy I put in your CRB last time?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I actually asked Frank, I was like, Frank, where can I put this candy where he won't find it or he can't, or it'll be
Tootsie's
difficult to get
I know
out?
how to disassemble that guy completely, Bob. So there's
Okay.
nowhere like, you can hide it.
That would be a cool
I just want to put
challenge.
like a bunch of Tootsie Rolls in the cylinder or something.
Well, you put some in the stock. That was pretty easy. And
Yeah.
then you obstructed the barrel by putting something in my Noveski.
That was
candy.
actually Frank's idea. 'cause
I
he
knew
actually
it was because I knew you didn't know how to take it apart.
That's
so
true.
I saw it and I was like, oh, okay, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
There's no way Bob did this, and so
No.
I took it apart and took all that out.
Yeah, Frank was like, give me that. Give me that.
I knew.
So yeah, well that's cool. Hopefully, I don't know, maybe once a year, maybe we'll see you out in the field. But actually, I thought it was interesting because
Are you gonna go to Jets thing on Saturday?
I want to.
Western
I
game?
have to go help out my family in Bakersfield this weekend. So
It's gonna be hot.
yeah, it's Bakersfield, man. So
Up in Bakersfield?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
are you talking about up out in the desert, up in Victorville?
Bakersfield's in the desert.
Yeah.
no,
It's gonna be hot there too.
It's in the Central
it's a
Valley.
fertile farming valley. It's not a desert.
It's as hot as the
It's
desert.
pretty-
Well, here's the thing: because of this drought and because of the water that's been restricted from the Central Valley, which is the breadbasket of the
California?
it's the United States. We farm like almost a sixth of the food for the entire country. We now get dust storms because there's so few fields being farmed. It's kind of sad.
It's
but
like Interstellar.
yeah, it's after I saw that movie, I was like, oh,
Like, well, that's what our
it's
future looks
pretty
like.
depressing. Yeah. Shoot, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I was going to say the roof collapsed in my parents' house.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
Only in my sister's room, and apparently we
Oh.
had like an entire clan of cats living in the roof. So when the roof collapsed onto her bed and her desk and all this other stuff, it spilled just mountains of like cat poop and urine everywhere. But it also like 6 cats came down and were like literally landed and were like split and just like went in different
We've been
corners of the room.
Jeez.
So and then
Oh
some
my God.
possums came in and I can't stop making fun of her. So
I feel bad for her though, because that's really
yeah, I
sucks.
kind of feel bad, but she would
That
send her dog into my room to poop, so I don't feel that
Wow.
bad. So anyway, moving on. I'm a bit curious about what your how have you had the chance to like really run this thing? I mean, I know you've had some
I
time
still
on it.
have a chance. I need a chance to run this out in the field, but I've actually it's funny because I've been handling the Masada for a while because I had it for the film shoot for the
Mhm.
Jurassic World video, and then just been getting really familiar with it. One thing that's actually kind of interesting is the selector on here. It's I had to break it in a little bit because it was a little bit stiff, but other than that,
Is that a real D-ball?
no, that's Airsoft GMP D-ball. But yeah, this is the PTS Gasolvac Masada. So it's made by OEM by KWA. I got a couple different things on here. Battlecom 51.0, so it'll work with the Mark 18 SD suppressor, so it just clicks on there. It's kind of cool because it's a hybrid. Yeah, I love Battlecom, and I love like 51T attachment systems. And literally, it's like, hey, we're making this. It's like awesome. Practically, like it's my favorite comp right now. Of course, D-balls, micro red dot, and if you're already familiar with the Masada, it's a very adaptable system. And I think eventually we're going to come out with the short barrel as well. But it's nice to have a good kind of like LM4 based kind of a gas blowback rifle, and the reset, the trigger reset. That's my favorite part of this right now. Is like you squeeze, reset, and the reset's really crisp, and it just barely travels back and it resets. Because one of my original I guess you could say qualms about the original LM4 is that there was so much slack. There's like slack, break, and then a lot of slack there. But the trigger reset's much better than
It's better than the real one.
I think one of the things I'm most happy about is right out of the box it comes with a cup seal mod, which is one of the things I got done to my KWA LM4. So I think the fact it comes with that right out of the box is pretty choice. Yeah.
But yeah, and of course, I mean, like I said, if you're familiar with the Masada, fully ambidextrous fire controls, and you have the stock that's multiple position, adjustable cheek riser, and extends too. But very, very nice platform.
Someone's asking our opinion on the ICS L85. I've personally had a chance to use an L85 a couple times. It is a really cool gun. I'm not as down for bullpup designs as other people, so
It's a cool design.
it is a cool design, and while it is fun, I think for me just having using a face mask, I generally don't get to get behind the iron sights on that gun specifically, so it's a little tougher for me personally. However, Ed Gaddy from our East Coast store, he doesn't run an L85, he runs the light machine gun version of that.
Oh, L86.
Yes, that's correct.
Light support weapon, LSW.
Yeah, so
Battlefield.
he loves the heck out of that one. So yeah, I mean, I say if you're looking for a bullpup style gun, I mean, I think the Brits have a really good design in that. The real farm when it first came out had a lot of issues with it, but
I think H&K bought the company.
Oh, really?
And then some there's a lot of H&K rebuilt a lot of the components. And so, I mean, plus you got the new Daniel defense rail systems on there. It's funny because like after that happened, I know you guys came out with like the custom G&G L85 with the DD rails on there, and I bought that. I was like, oh, this is so cool because it's like different than your standard L85. I still have that though. It's still one of my favorite guns because even though it wasn't like a true recoil gun back then, just the feedback was just
nice.
so satisfying. The range to the barrel like super long.
We got one question and one statement all in caps. The question is, Tim, will
Yes.
Krytac ever come out with any gas blowbacks?
Maybe.
You heard it here first. Maybe. That was very helpful. The other statement was TVB. I don't really know what that's in reference
the Emperor
to.
returns.
But
Will he support the First Order?
the Temperor. I would say like one of the ones that remains in my mind as the most fun one we had was Timber Spot 4, which is at Balahak. Because I mean, all the other Timber Spots had a lot of memorable moments, but I feel like that one had the most. And it was
very
also because
defining.
and you were there too.
Yeah.
I mean,
I played both sides.
that moment on the live show when you and I were both like, "No, Greg's on my team," and you're like, "No, he's on my team."
Still
And then we looked at the list, we were like,
He's on
"Son
both
of a-"
teams.
Yeah,
I think you were like explaining yourself. I was just like,
yeah, that was a pretty funny moment for both of us,
yeah.
I think.
I think part of it was the scale, the location. I mean, it was on a completely different coast, so you had a completely different crowd. But it was kind of like that moment where, like, you know, GI is really crossing the country, really, and it was just huge, such a huge game. I mean, it was amazing.
And I got to give Tim credit. I mean, you definitely brought out your man pants for this one when you like snuck all the way around the field. Like I was for sure that you were going to go the shortest possible route, and you went all the way through the swamp, really sneaky like. And there was that one rebel player that was so sure he saw you and didn't know what to do.
What do I do?
And he's like, I don't know.
That's where radio comes in
It's
handy.
a good
It's like,
thing he didn't, too, because I think I've told you this story before. My battery was dead for that whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had a non-functioning.
I had a non-functioning gun that I was carrying around the whole time. So I had someone spotted me and I got into a firefight. I wouldn't have been able to do anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just
So
run
I
as
don't know
fast
what
as you
happened
can.
because I switched batteries between the first and second game, and I guess I switched it to another dead one. And I didn't. Obviously, I was in the middle of a swamp, so it's not like I could go back.
Yeah, no,
It's like fully committed.
I actually had forgotten about that. That's even crazier because
I didn't discover it until the very end because we got to the end. Chris Ratton and Aaron Rose were there. They took photos of me reaching the, you know, the
proof.
Yeah, exactly, the liftoff point. And then I went, okay, we're going to disguise you, and you're going to show up behind an ambulance, and you're going to waste them. I'm like, all right, perfect. So I changed clothes with Aaron a little bit, you know, face mask and hat and whatnot. I get out there, and I go, zick, and that was it. I shot one shot that whole game, and my battery died. Yep. Yep.
Oh man,
that was a great game and a hell of an escape too.
Yeah, no, I was very impressed, and just the fact that I love how Christopher Radden described it. He's like, yeah, so this is going on, and somewhere on the road to Mordor, Tim and so are making their way around, and it really was Mordor. That was quite a long trek.
Wasn't it up until then?
And
The Empire was like stomping the rebels up until TVB4.
Yeah, I mean, actually, no.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
It's like yes.
That series ended in a tie, which Tim is right now going to disagree with me with. But for each of those games, which Timber Spot 4 and 4.5 are two separate games.
It's 1.5 games.
That's
That's
ridiculous.
The fact that we went on a second day because there were so many people who came out, that was really cool.
No, that was over 800 people that weekend, which was the biggest game we'd been to up until that point. So it was pretty awesome. But yeah, no, hopefully we'll be able to go back to Balahak sometime in the very near future. And I don't know if Tim, if we'll see you in any of these games, but we'd love to have you there, of course.
I hear Chris is out in Virginia, so I might give him a good excuse.
Yeah, where's your factory's in?
Chesapeake now.
Chesapeake.
Oh, really?
I just moved to Chesapeake. Yeah, it's real close to Balahak. I was actually supposed to be there this weekend, but something came up and I couldn't.
What came up?
Stuff I can't tell you about.
Ninja stuff.
Fair play, ninja stuff. Oh yes. Well, that's cool. Hopefully.
Systems out there in Chesapeake too.
Yeah, Eric Graves is out there.
Soldier
He's been
Systems?
by our
Systems
new.
daily.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's been by our new facility.
He's the man.
Well, hopefully, hopefully you get a chance to head out to Balahak. I know those guys would love to see you, even if you just hang out there for the day. So they're doing a lot of great things with the field. If you guys are on the East Coast anywhere and have a chance to go to Balahak, you will not regret it. It is one of the premier fields on the West Coast. And it's actually I do this all the time. I say exactly the opposite of what I mean. They are actually, I was going to mention this earlier about D14, Game Pod, and Balahak, is that it's really nice to play at a field that's run by people who have played or do play Airsoft because they take pride in what they do, and you can see it in the field and the referee staff, which is at Ballahack is second to none.
Always something new. They're always excited to. It's just like they're just so well run, and Craig too. Is such an amazing,
Oh yeah,
such a nice guy.
I was going to mention there's something new they added to GamePod, which
Really?
I don't know if you'd be excited about this, Sam. I would assume you would. You know how they had those destroyable buildings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the thing when you like.
Yeah. Well, they converted one of those units into a laser designator.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where you can designate it and it blows up.
See, I played with Mills from JGR the last time. We were like, where is this thing? And I'm just like looking. I'm like, okay, where is it? Where is it? It's like right there. I didn't see it. And like as soon as I'm trying to tag it, I die. I'm like, oh god dang it.
Yeah, you got to hold it on this small target for like 10 seconds.
Yeah,
it's really difficult.
It's actually a lot more difficult than it looks, but when it goes off, it's pretty dang cool. I think they need to put a scope on that thing because it's like you can barely see like the thing.
Well, there's a viewfinder, but it doesn't help that
it
much.
It don't help not good.
Don't help none.
That sounds like something I'd say.
But yeah. Definitely cool.
Bob, answer the question. Can you guys do a 15-second review of that PTS Masada? That's interesting. I'll actually forward that to Bill, and we'll talk about it, see, and we'll do a 15-second review.
As fast as you can.
Probably, yeah, I don't know exactly how we'll do that. If you want to see my Scottish accent, you're going to have to watch the previous live show with me and Bill, because I don't want to embarrass myself twice 2 weeks in a row. But I'm sure it'll happen eventually. So, actually, Bill tried his British accent, and that was just horrific. So. Actually, do you guys do any accents?
Not really.
Was that an attempt? Okay.
No.
Okay. All right. Tim, could you give me a shout out? DM Airsoft 23.
No.
All right. He won't do it. Your shout out is approved by me, however.
Okay.
So, Jacob Ham, your shout out is approved, as is Moss Airsoft shout out, which is approved.
Special ops mission. I saw something about special missions.
Yeah,
Main guy goes to raid ship. Would you play on a ship? Oh. That's pretty cool. Like, there was
let's tell them the question specifically. Would you play Airsoft on a ship?
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
It's very interesting and a lot of corridors, a lot of tight spaces, so you really have to be on the game. But it does add a very interesting dynamic, especially if you got to play on the deck and on the other decks. You add a lot of verticality, but a lot of linearity at the same time. It's a very interesting dynamic because it's completely different how buildings are built.
Actually, a couple of years ago, there was a Russian or an airsoft event in Russia where they had a very large ship and they had spawn points on the bow and the stern, which was very interesting. I would have loved to have done that.
That would be cool. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of like if you fought on a ship, it'd be a lot like Star Wars where you go through like the one port and like everyone gets smoked with like the last two stormtroopers and then you start pushing through. But all the guys are going in first. Done.
Are you surprised he's making a Star Wars reference? You act shocked.
No, I don't know.
What?
Well, because it's like Star Wars, they are fighting on ships. They're just not in the water, so it's exactly the same thing.
Well, yeah, no, but I mean,
that's why I made the reference.
They literally
that's exactly how it'd be like.
They just shovel stormtroopers through that.
Every time I go through the
entrance.
CQB class, that's what Tyler refers to. He's like, "You guys remember like when the stormtroopers go through the door? That's you guys."
No, that's very true. That's very true. Shoot, someone did have a question, but it is gone. Ricky Wrecker 321, your shout out is approved. Let's see, what's some more stuff we can talk about? Are there some movies you guys are looking forward to coming out?
I mean, all the really big movies have kind of came out, so it's like the summer's kind of winding down. You got a lot of like fun comedies and stuff like that, but like Jurassic World is just killing it right now. It's like fifth weekend, and it dropped down to like 3, then back up to 2, and for one weekend over the 4th of July weekend, it was number 1 again. So that one's just like 5th top grossing film of all time.
Yeah,
it's really doing good. Yeah, it's killing it.
Especially
right
in
now.
the overseas markets. That's for sure.
People want to see dinosaurs, man.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. Games though coming out. You have a lot of good games. You have The Division. You have Rainbow Six, which I got to play
until like next year.
I'm trying to remember if they did because I played it at E3 and then I played Rainbow Six. I mean, it's hopefully it's like coming out because it's just like
I think
it's been delayed
until next year. Yeah.
But Rainbow Six is coming out. That was fun to play. The AI is really good. They really revamped the AI for that. And then of course Battlefront, so much fun. The balancing of the Hoth map, though, they gotta fix a couple bugs. I was talking to a couple level designers, and like some guys are like camping out on the ion cannon. And you're like, how the heck did
that's kind of not fair.
There? But when it's played properly, it is a blast. And seeing those walkers and all the troops running around, I actually got stepped on by a walker one time when I was playing. But that game's gonna be a lot of fun. It's truly a blast.
Yeah, now Tim, I know this is something that you're really engrossed in, but what is your thought on Star Wars Battlefront?
What do you think about it?
I know you don't. I don't think you've played a video game since we played StarCraft 2.
Yeah, I don't really game very much.
Is that literally the last time?
Probably. No, actually,
Battlefield?
I was at Gene's house the other day and I was playing Insurgency with them
Oh,
like a month ago. That game's pretty fun.
isn't that kind of cool how there's no, like, it doesn't let you know that someone's hit? You got to, like, go and check or just...
It's a very hardcore shooter. It's not as hardcore as Arma. It's
We played Arma too.
yeah.
Oh.
That game is crazy realistic.
Yeah.
Dude, that...
It's like Milsim video
believe it.
game basically.
Like,
It was too boring. It's too realistic.
It is, like, when you have to do, like, medical work on someone...
That's what we were basically doing because we set the settings so high, and there was me and Robo and Gene and all the other guys were all together and playing, and then we just kept dying, and so you just spend the whole time medicing it. It's not as fast paced as like Battlefield 2. Like Battlefield 2 was a game that I played a lot back in the day.
Oh, I love Battlefield 2.
Yeah.
Strike at Karkan, the first 10
Yes,
minutes. First
Karkans.
10 minutes is just a grenade spam war. And then once you push through that, all the arty spam and everything, you get that first flag, it's like you can breathe. Then you start pushing again. But yeah, like the first 5 minutes of that was just like...
So that was probably the last FPS game I played. And I played you in StarCraft a couple times, but not since then.
What kit did you use in Battlefield 2? Was it the medic with the G36E all the time? Because that class was so OP.
I use the medic every once in a while, but I like to snipe. Once you get the L96 in that game, the gun's pretty accurate.
Yeah. That one was super on point when the expansion came out for that.
Someone was asking, I just want to answer this question real quick. Iron X Dog, Bob, Amoeba Polar Star or DMR Polar Star? I would go with the DMR Polar Star just from the outstanding range I've seen my friends achieve with a specific setup on DMRs that have been Polar Star. Essentially like a wide bore barrel, and that Polar Star setup will create a cushion of air around the BB that honestly I've seen them achieve unheard of ranges, or at least ranges that I'd never seen people get hit from. Yeah, get hit from before. Like I remember seeing a guy at Operation Irene when it was still out of Zussman. He was waving to us because he thought he was so out of far range, and then my buddy just domed him. It was crazy. So
I think it's really situation dictates. Does he want a short amoeba or does he want a long range one? And what's his gameplay?
I think
it sounds like he's gearing towards outdoors.
Yeah, and I mean I really like amoebas. I would probably want to use an amoeba in a CQB setting. But
it's a very affordable setup, that's for sure. Because the gun itself is not very expensive, and you just swap out the guts and you have a really lightweight, affordable Polar Star.
Indeed. Well, we're actually getting to the last few minutes of our show, so let's see if there are any questions we can have everyone answer. Minigun or Ma Deuce, Tim? That's helpful. That's not.
I mean, minigun's cool, but there's just something behind a 50. Like minigun, they're both very destructive, but the 50 cal, it's just like it's been turning people into sliced bread since like World War I. Butter, people butter.
People butter. I've never heard that before.
Dude, it's just like
I can't forget that one.
That thing's been in action since before your granddad was cutting people down in World War II.
Now, what about for Airsoft?
Practicality-wise, probably the minigun.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just mount that on because you got multiple barrels spinning and it's like.
Is there an Airsoft nowadays?
That'll function the same way. No,
there are people who have converted, put a different gearbox inside, like an outer shell.
It still functions like a.
Speaking of machine guns, Tim, is there any way you could grab that machine gun that's on the floor for us?
Yeah, 240.
Yeah. All right, can you grab the other one as well while we have this up here?
Support weapon time.
All right, so thankfully we do have a lot of machine guns on our website. We have this Krytac LMG Enhanced on pre-order, and we also have this Lancer Tactical 240 Bravo up on our website. Don't want to hurt those glasses. And what's really cool about the 240 Bravos is it's actually a lot lighter than most other 240 Bravos on the web.
They're usually pretty heavy.
Yeah, well, this one's at 14 pounds, which is not light.
Wow,
but,
that's about as much as a regular saw.
Yeah, considering how much 240 Bravos normally weigh, that is pretty lightweight.
20 plus pounds.
Yeah. However, if you are looking for something with a lot more movement power and a lot more lightweight, then you are going to want to go with the Krytac LMG Enhanced. So
you can use regular mags with this too, right?
Yeah, you can use regular mags.
Yeah, which is really nice. You got a lot of versatility in this, and you have a medium machine gun and Lancer Tactical. So head on over to airsoftyou.com, check them both out, and make sure if you know you want it, get on the pre-order as soon as you can so you can make sure that you get it. But anyway, thank you for bringing that up, Tim. It looks like you're still holding it, so I'm just going to let that happen. But I'm going to leave this on here just for symmetry.
I liked how this really gives it a very like the gun itself is contemporary, but just like ahead. Like it looks like something the military would be using the next 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, it looks futuristic
Yeah.
and ahead of the curve, which is really
A
neat.
lot of movies and TV shows, and they build these prop guns. It's like sometimes they're using Nerf guns. It's like, dude, do something better. At least like with like Oblivion, right? They had a Masada, but they really modified it and decked it out. So it's at the prop house. I think it's ISS or something like that.
Mhm. No, that's it.
Yeah, so it's ISS. But like this, like literally, if you want a support weapon in like a 2020 or something like movie, perfect, absolutely immaculate. And you got the key mods, and it's got the nice angled cuts in there, so it's really like something you'd want for like a futuristic load. I mean, obviously it's very functional too, streamlined, so you don't have anything sticking out, no extra Picatinis, so it's very comfortable to grip too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tim, do you want to talk about it at all?
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Okay. All right.
Just that it's going to be available next month.
Next month. That'll be
Very
really
soon.
exciting when that comes out. So yeah, if you guys want to get on this, make sure to get on that pre-order as soon as airsoftly possible. Let's see if there are any final questions or shout-outs. Oops.
Flush with this one.
AA-12, yes, I'm excited for that whenever that comes
that's
out.
gonna be so cool.
Does that flash hider come with the LMG?
Well, it has to be orange per U.S. law.
Of course.
But actually, this might be one of our metal prototypes.
That
It's
sounds
plastic.
like a.
No, it's plastic. But we do have the Krytac flash hider available on our pro shop. If you guys, actually, you guys probably carry it here too.
Yes.
So the black versions of our flash hider are available, but of course, as per U.S. law, when it's sold, it has an orange one.
Well, that is absolutely good to know, especially for the viewer who asked the question. I can't find their name. Mr. Muncherman, your shout-out is approved, as well as Insurgency Gaming. Your shout-out is approved. What were you saying?
I saw something. Someone said tactical Velociraptor, tactical Indominus Rex.
That would be impressive if that was even able to happen. Spectrum Airsoft, your shout-out is approved.
What happened to this?
Oh yeah, I mean, do you want to answer that or?
Well, I mean, he's been playing more. It's just like for him, he really focused on his life. I mean, you saw he lost so much weight and really focused on kind of getting his body back into shape.
Someone was asking what happened to Milsim Junkie, and that's what Greg is answering
He still
right
plays. He still plays casually. You know?
Mhm.
But yeah, he just took more time to kind of get his life back in order.
now. Yeah, no, I mean he's doing those ruck challenges. I mean he lost a lot. He's in great shape.
He's in excellent shape. Like he was almost practically irrecognizable from the years before.
Mhm.
Completely different. But very humble. Love that guy.
Yeah, no, he's such a great gentleman. I wish I
Probably
could play
one
or
of my
something.
favorite people around today.
That is a significant statement.
Yeah.
We'll just
I'm
leave
outta
Greg.
here.
All right, yeah, let's get out of
Jeez,
here,
Greg.
Tim. All right, AKM4 Airsofter, your shout out is approved.
Ooh, Deadpool.
Oh,
Man,
what?
Someone mentioned the Deadpool movie because of Comic-Con. That's gonna be hilarious.
I was going to mention this earlier because, like, even though I don't think Tim knows who Deadpool is, I think you would actually really like this character because he's kind of like a dick.
Oh yeah.
That's all I got.
He's very.
Ryan Reynolds played that guy, right, in that X-Men movie.
Yeah, he's playing him again, a new one.
Oh really?
He's the only guy that's actually aware he's in a movie, which makes it more entertaining.
He breaks the fourth wall.
Exactly.
In case you guys don't know what the fourth wall is, you're looking at it right there.
I thought the dude couldn't talk though.
No, he can.
Deadpool?
No, he's
The
really
one in
crass.
X-Men, they had him like they sewed his mouth shut because he talked too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that I can't remember
Is
what
that not
X-Men
that
movie
actual
that is.
character?
No, that's the character, but they're kind of revamping the character more toward how he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be like basically a smart aleck.
Yeah, he's a smartass, pretty much.
Mhm.
But that when they sewed his mouth shut like that wasn't really in keeping with the comics. That's why it was kind of frustrating.
So I never really read comics. That's why I'm not really up to date on all these things. But
I'd never really read the Deadpool comics either, but like I got educated real quick by nerd friends. So
At all these conventions, there's so many Deadpools, and there's so many different types. I saw an Elsa Deadpool at Comic-Con. I saw like
Elsa from Frozen?
like it was a Deadpool wearing an Elsa outfit. It was hilarious. But like yeah, you can Deadpool any you can cross Deadpool like any cosplay, like any character you think like Fett Deadpool, Han Solo Deadpool, like Princess Leia Deadpool, like you can Deadpool anything.
Wow, that's
It's-
Deadpool also
that
loved
kinda goes
Mexican
with the
food.
comedic part of the character.
Really quick question. Greg, when are the Centurion Arms LM4s coming out?
No release date yet.
All right.
But,
Well,
we're still working on it.
shout out to the Civil War. Civil Air Patrol Cadet Program. Shout out is approved.
Civil
Actually,
War.
shout out to the
Civil War. Yeah. No,
Flashback Fridays.
oh, jeez. I actually always thought the Civil Air Patrol was really cool because we had some of those in the Central Valley, and it was always really neat. So I think that's a good program. You guys ever heard of the Civil Air Patrol?
Yep. It's basically kind of like, it's sort of like a kind of a hybrid between like reserves and like ROTC and stuff like that. It's like not quite a full-on like federal thing, but it kind of is. It's kind of it's weird. It's,
Yeah, because teenagers and young
completely
kids can get in on that because
it's kind of like junior Air Force.
yeah,
Basically.
no, it's essentially what it is, like young Marines and whatnot. All right, yes, AG Chris Vector. Just for those folks that I didn't hear earlier, can you tell them just what info you said earlier?
The AG Chris Vector is
Don't act so annoyed.
it's an active project, and that's the
Work
only
in
information
progress.
that I can release right now.
It's just funny. You're like, ugh, just I'll tell them again, Bob. It's okay. All right, well, guys, we are actually going overtime, so thank you guys for staying here a little bit longer than we expected. Tim, thank you for joining us last minute and dressing up so fancy-like. Greg, thank you for showing up and telling us about your ACU unit as well as the loadout. And thank you guys for showing up and watching the live show with us and spending some time, especially as far away as from Finland. So once again, guys, thank you for showing up. I'm sorry we couldn't get to all your shout-outs, but make sure to stay tuned to our live show next week. Once again, I'm Bob the Axeman Hildebrand. This is
Spartan117GW.
check him out on his YouTube channel, and this is
Tim from Chris USA.
well played. Well played. I don't know what he said, but that sounds fancy. All right, guys. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now.
Yes.
Bye-bye now.
Run.